All the time in the tropical clime where they do the hula hula dance, I fell in love with the chocolate dove while doing that funny, funny dance. This poor little kid, she never did a bit of loving before. So I made up my mind, I tried to find the only gal I ever did adore. Well, 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 I love a pretty little Hapa Haole hula girl. She's a candy kid to wriggle. Hula girl, she will surely make you giggle. Hula girl with a naughty little wiggle. Someday I'm gonna try to make this Hapa Haole girl in mine, a girl in mine. Well, all the time I'm dreaming of her, my Hapa Haole hula girl. Out on the beach with the tropical peach, where the waves are rolling in so high. Out on the sand while you hold her hand, you swear you'll win her heart or die. You starting to tease, you give her a squeeze, her heart is all in a whirl. If you get in a pinch, go to it's a cinch while spooning with the hula girl. Well, 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 I love a pretty little Hapa Haole hula girl. She's a candy kid to wriggle. Hula girl, she will surely make you giggle. Hula girl with a naughty little wiggle. Someday I'm gonna try to make this Hapa Haole girl in mine, a girl in mine. While all of the time I'm dreaming of her, my Hapa Haole hula girl. Well, I love a little pretty Hapa Haole hula girl. She's a candy kid to wriggle. Hula girl, she will surely make you giggle. Hula girl with a naughty little wiggle. Someday I'm gonna try to make this Hapa Haole girl in mine, a girl in mine. While all of the time I'm dreaming of her, my Hapa Haole hula girl. Aloha means we welcome you. It means more than words can say. Aloha means good luck to you. Good night at the close of day. Just like a love song with a haunting sweet refrain, bringing you joy, bringing you pain. Aloha means farewell to you. until we meet again. Just like a love song with its haunting sweet refrain, bringing you joy, bringing you pain. Aloha means farewell to you until we meet again, until we meet again. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me know what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me know what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. So this little thing is not, it's not like, it doesn't have any real, like skate history kind of importance, but it's important for me. So in 1986, I was up and coming amateur, and so this was a board I rode at a contest in Mobile, Alabama in '86, March 15th, 1986. It says in the trophy. If you watch the YouTube video later, you'll be able to see the trophy over there. But anyway, so in '86 I rode this thing, original Ripper board, and it's very much just kind of a straight 10 by 30 with no money bumps or anything, but it's got wheel wells. And it's definitely very flat. Boy, it is really flat. There is like no concave, so to speak. So this was the original Powell concave. Had no kicktail and no concave, and so a lot of people complained about that. But oh yeah, like my crackly grip tape thing and my Grasso sticker. Pretty stoked to have that on there. So '86. So this was fresh off the kind of on the heels of filming the Future Primitive video, or the Future Primitive video, maybe it just came out, and that I'm in the segment at Lance's ramp. I have one shot, and of a judo air over the channel, and I can't even say I made that. You can't really tell. I kind of go out of the camera, out of view before the landing. I don't know if I landed it or not. And so Stacy says, well, we're going to bring you up to Lance's to film because we need people to see you at places other than Del Mar Skate Ranch, because that way, they can see that you can ride other places. And I had the absolute worst day ever trying to film for the Future Primitive video, the second Bones Brigade video show. And one thing I will never, ever forget in my entire life, words you never want to hear from Stacy Peralta when you spend a day filming. He looks at me, he says, I don't think we have anything we can use, man. So, yes. Yeah, I definitely was feeling pretty shot down that day, because I didn't make anything, and it was probably just a case of I choked because I was so like I had to do well. I had to bust out and show people I could skate a ramp and not just the Del Mar keyhole. And apparently I didn't. So anyway, so this is I ended up at this contest in Mobile, Alabama, and for me, this was sort of the first big West Coast meets East Cost kind of contest. And so I'm supposed to be, the hotshot West Coast am for Powell Peralta, and we're all gonna meet up there. And my other teammate, which I hadn't met, was Chris Borst. And so Tony and I flew up from San Diego, and the others flew from LA, and we met up in Chicago. Well, that was the stop point. And so at that point, then we all ended up on the same plane and ended up going to Alabama. So Chris Borst, who I hadn't met yet, but I'd heard about him, and things kind of brewing about Mr. Chris Borst from Bakersfield, who later, of course, had his ramp that was in the Animal Chin video. But so we get there, and I'm kind of like, okay, I've got to meet this Chris guy that rides for Powell, who's my direct competition, because we're on the same team. So you really got to kind of step up. And so Lance and Chris walk up, and the first thing Lance says to me, and he points to Chris. He goes, "Chris Borst, first amateur to do the McTwist." That's that was my introduction to Chris Borst by Lance Mountain. First thing before I ever even met him. So, yep, stress levels for me through the roof. It's like, great. So not only have to, I've got to prove myself here, not just against the other skaters in the States, but my own team. And so it was kind of nerve-wracking. So that starts things off. Then we get to the contest, and we're walking in for the first day of practice for me. And when we walk in, it was in a big airplane hangar. And so we walk in the hangar, and we're walking towards the ramp, and we're kind of walking towards the back of the ramp, so we're not at the half-pipe view. We're back here. So we're walking up, and I see people going really high, like really high, one after another. And I'm just like, okay. And kind of hearing from Lance and the guys, it's like, oh, it's it's so and so, it's Henry Gutierrez, oh, it's Alan Midget, oh, it's Buck Smith, or it's so it's all these guys that I had read about and heard about in the magazines, but I've never met. And so I'm thinking, whoa, okay, stress levels kind of through the roof again. Here's guys that are ramp skaters that I'm coming from Del Mar Skate Ranch, and I've got to try to live up to what they're doing. And already I'm kind of a ball of nerves. And it's like, okay. So I get there, I'm getting set up, getting ready. My first practice session, 10 minutes into the session, which is, I think was only half hour. We had a half hour to practice. 10 minutes in, I break a base plate. And first session, break a base plate. I'm like just getting warmed up. Like, okay. And then now I've got to scramble, try to fix my truck. I fix my truck. I've got like 5 minutes left in the session. And I get up there and I can barely ride a skateboard. It's kind of like I am now. That's the level I was skating. I could barely ride the skateboard. And I could barely make it to the top. And things were just not working. And so I'm just freaked out. But that's how it is, contest things. So long story short, as I kind of settle in, and I do kind of find my groove a little bit after the first day. The second, when I finally got to really just shut things out and go, things kind of fell into place. But there was still this kind of pressure on me, and sort of was one of those things where you're kind of like, you're going through the whole thing and you're like, yeah, and then you realize it's like, oh, I'm in the finals. It's like, oh, wow, okay. And then that was a head-to-head contest. So, back then you end up skating a lot because it's like winner's bracket, loser bracket. So you're bouncing back and forth, and then suddenly it's like me and Jim Murphy, Jim Murphy, who is definitely the crowd favorite as far as the amateurs go. And so it was me and him head to head, and somehow things lined up and I ended up winning that contest. So yes, so this board, again, it doesn't really have like skateboarding world super historic significance, although I guess this is the first Ripper board, which I think is basically the Ray Bones shape, just a straight 10 by 30. And then my very short-lived Norfleet clothing company sponsorship, and of course Witt's Carlsbad Pipeline stickers. Witt's my first sponsor. So I keep this board because even if I had gotten like 8th or just making the finals, I would probably still have this board, because knowing that it's like, okay, this is my first outing and I'm supposed to prove myself, and I feel like I did. So I'm proud of that. So, and that's why I keep the trophy too, and it's kind of a big trophy. But anyway, so that's my skate story. It's just for me. there's, you know, I guess there might be value to somebody out there because of what it is, but for me, the value is in that I actually feel like I accomplished something at this contest. And there's a Swank Scene sticker on there, so that's really cool. So, all right, blah 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 blah, skateboarding, blah 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 blah. Okay. Do nothing till you hear from me. Pay no attention to what's said. Why people tear the seam of anyone's dream is over my head. Do nothing till you hear from me. At least consider our romance. If you should take the word of others you've heard, I haven't a chance. True, I've been seen with someone new, but does that mean that I am untrue? When we're apart, the words in my heart reveal how I feel about you. Some kiss may cloud my memory, and other arms may hold a thrill. But please do nothing till you hear it from me, and you never will. True, I've been seen with someone new, but does that mean that I've been untrue? When we're apart, the words in my heart reveal how I feel about you. Some kiss may cloud my memory, and other arms may hold a thrill. But please do nothing till you hear it from me, and you never will. Things don't seem to be as easy as they used to be. It's getting harder every day to think of better things to say about what's going on around you and what's happening inside you. When it's time to change, you won't know how. It won't matter years from now. No matter what you think or do or say, everything turns gray the darkest hour. Isn't it depressing how our minds create an atmosphere that won't happen here unless we make some new demands and grab the future in our hands? I know it's too late, but it's too late for senseless minds that love to hate. No matter what they think or do or say, everything turns gray. So on the album, my good friend Mr. Mike Palm plays a fabulous guitar solo. So I figured rather than trying to live up to that, I would probably just do nothing. No matter what you think or do or say, everything turns gray.